Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends.
Booyah! And it's time for the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, David McKeag, and I'm here live at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie. It's Thursday, April the 19th, 2018, and the weather is starting to clear up just a slight little bit. The snow is melting after some, heavy snowfall the past few days and the past weekend, and Monday and Tuesday of this week, and it's good to see the clear roads and see the sun shine out today. And here tonight on the Game Sports Show, Thursday edition, we're going to have a little bit of a different show tonight. And I'll tell you why it's going to be a little bit different. Because the show's actually going to be shortened. It's going to be a 40 to 45-minute show only due to other schedule commitments and on-air scheduling commitments and whatnot. But we're still going to have an action-packed show with a lot of news that we are going to provide to you with both local and professional sports in the world of hockey and in the world of baseball as well. But also, I can't forget, with the Game Sports Show, that I have some great panel members. I got some great analysts, co-hosts, and all the fun stuff. And tonight I'm going to have Brad Cochimilio and Justin Heichel joining. Right now to my right is Brad Cochimilio. Justin Heichel is just a few minutes away from coming into Boston Pizza, so we'll introduce him when he comes on in. But before we say hi to Brad, and even before we say hi to Justin when he comes on in, we're going to get through our usual introduction portion of the Game Sports Show. And firstly, with our sponsors. Of course, one of the homes to the Game Sports Show on Thursdays is, of course, Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, and Boston Pizza, where you are among friends, and we're here after 9 p.m. on their daily specials, the $9 schooners, $4 bar rails, and the 50% off appetizers. Another home to the Game Sports Show, where it's recorded on Wednesdays at Sports Center Bar and Grill. And a fun little note, an unfortunate note, is that we did not record yesterday at Sports Center Bar and Grill with myself and Jamie Antonello having a little bit of scheduling complications. So we will have a show next week for sure at Sports Center Bar and Grill. But that's where we are Wednesdays, both Wednesdays and Thursdays being on location at 9:30 p.m. recording the show. Mondays at the Wicked Sister, where it's live from 6 to 7 on radio, pre-recorded 7 to 8, and that is in Sioux, Michigan. And a list of additional sponsors. Here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, we got North Shore Sports and Auto, The Salon, The Superior Pro Shop, Northern Critters in Need, Big Brother, Big Sister, and Discover the Canvas. Also a new sponsor, Northern Signs here in Sault Ste. Marie. And Northern Signs is going to have some big partnership deals here with the Game Sports Show, with merchandise, with banners, and all that fun stuff as well. So welcome aboard to Northern Signs on our big list of sponsors here on the Game Sports Show. Over in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, alongside the Wicked Sister, we have Pingator Cleaners. Special shout out to Mitch Wilson, the bringer of beer, I like to call him here at Boston Pizza, and Aaron Grisdak for their great work always on the Game Sports Show and allowing us to be here on Thursdays. And of course to Scott Nason, our board operator here tonight. And for tonight, the agenda for the Game Sports Show on Thursday's edition here, Boston Pizza. We have, like I said, an accelerated edition, we're going to call it. I like calling it that here tonight. We have our Blue Jays chat briefly, our little NOJHL update, then followed by a break where we're going to talk about the Soo Greyhounds and that wild Game 7, getting ready for Series number 3 that starts tomorrow at the SR Center against the Kitchener Rangers. And we're going to get to that in just after the first break. And then we're going to be talking NHL playoff talk as well. Tonight, with the trivia question. We're just going to start off with the trivia question right away here. Unfortunately, there was no correct answers again for last week. Simply, all you had to do was come into Boston Pizza and you could have looked and see the jerseys, but obviously people didn't get that tuned in. The jersey that is not signed here at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, is the one and only Marty Turco. That is the only jersey that is not signed here at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie. And we will not be having a trivia question this week. We'll be putting that on hold until next week. So there's going to be no question this week. And if you want to submit your answer for last week's, well, I obviously just told you the answer, so you can't do that now. So you're going to have to wait till next week for next week's question and to be a part of the trivia question. Where else can you hear some older spots of the Game Sports Show? Very simple. Go to www.thegamesportshow.com or thegamesportshow.podbean.com. And That's where you can hear it. You can simply follow us on the Podbean page. Very simple. Follow us through my Facebook page or going through the Podbean page. Simply follow us. You get notifications when the show is put up. We also have an Instagram page, The Game Sports Show, SSM, and Twitter for myself and Scott Nason, along with a YouTube channel with Scott Nason's name as well. They'll soon be The Game Sports Show. Little fun fact for you, the merchandise and logo. We plan the logo will be launched by April 30th, and the merchandise will be released for sure on April 30th as well. And the proceeds of the shirts, with the cost going towards charities, and those charities being Northern Critters in Need and Big Brother, Big Sister, Sault Ste. Marie. And without further ado, I'm going to bring one of the analysts that is currently in my presence, as the other one is running a little bit late. And I can see his truck right now. He is pulling in, and that is Justin Heichelt is pulling in. But right now, sitting beside me, it's the one, it's the only, Brad Kochmelio. Pal, how you doing?
Hey, I always get a great interview on this show. You know what? I think that's probably why I keep coming back. I think so. You know, the company's great, but I get a great intro every week. How can I complain?
And the great Molson products that we have and the pizza that they have here at Boss Pizza. Just a great atmosphere in general. And obviously, we're fun. And the show's a booming. Let's get real. The show is doing great, and a large part is to yourself, to Justin, everyone who puts their hard work and sweat, along with myself and Scott. We've been working hard on the show, and for the past 2.5 years, our popularity has went up, our viewers have went up. Really extremely impressed. The sponsors, we get calls to have sponsors. We brought in one more with Northern Signs. There's more that want to come on, but I got to hold off and wait because of you only can have a certain amount before things go, and you know what? It is going great here on the show, and we're glad that you are newly a part of the show. It's been probably a month exactly, close to it, what you've been officially a part of the show, maybe a little bit more. But tonight, Brad, a little bit different than what we usually do. We have an accelerated show. When have we ever had a show that was under an hour and a half?
Not since I've been here.
Never.
Not since I've been here.
Never. We've never had a show that was only about 40 minutes. And the reason why the show is because of scheduling complications. And you know what? The show, we are given an hour and a half. That is our time slot that we have from 9:30 to 11. And then when it's pre-recorded and put on, we have that hour and a half to play with. But at the end of the day, you know, for the Game Sports Show tonight, we're having a quicker show, but we're going to cram all the things in as quickly as possible here. We were hoping to have T-Birds coach John Parko come by and join Miller, but unfortunately it's not a good night for them. And obviously being an accelerated show wouldn't be the best night. We're hoping that they come on next week instead, along with some other special guests that I'm hoping I can announce midweek or last minute on next week's edition of the Boston Pizza Show for the Game Sports Show. So, Brad, you got your introduction. The person just came on in, my fellow Leaf fan. A little bit upset, was currently on the television right now as the Leafs are down 3-1 while we're currently discussing here in the 8-minute mark of the third period. Justin, my friend, thanks for coming in. Better late than never.
Hey, beers are poured.
Beers are poured. The Molson products are poured, and people are here tonight. Boss Pizza, a great packed house as always here, and obviously a lot of Leaf jerseys in this house, and we're hoping the Leafs can pull it through here when we get towards the conclusion. Maybe we have some good news to state that maybe the Leafs get closer or tie the game. Optimism is definitely still a thing in Leaf land over here. However, it doesn't matter if the Leafs go down 3-1 because we know what happened last time they were down 3-1. We did come back here. Their series is never over until it is over. But this game is still not over. But before we get to the NHL, Justin, we're going to talk about the Hounds in the NHL on the next part after our first break. We're just quickly doing a quick little discussion here about the Toronto Blue Jays and the NOJHL playoffs. And we're going to jump into Toronto. They're currently with the New York Yankees right now, and they just finished the 8th inning while we discussed here. They are down 4-3 to the Bronx Bombers. The Jays are 12-5 this year. Great start. The New York Yankees are 8-8. Rough start so far for the Yankees. You know, the Jays, when they started 0-2, a lot of people had doubt. Ever since then, they are 12-3 on the season with a big shellacking on the Kansas City Royals. Absolutely took a team that was not good. Let's be honest, Kansas City is not a team that's star-studded, but they took to them. They absolutely took to them. The Jays did not let up. And this is a team that has Josh Donaldson on the DL, and Troy Tulowitzki's on the DL. A lot of their depth is being really shown. Teoscar Hernandez, that guy should have been on the starting lineup since the day one of the first pitch. But the guy's showing why he belongs there. Pitching's going well. Yami Garcia is letting some long balls up, but the team is battling back for him. And Granderson hitting that grand slam. It's Grander Slam time. I'm loving it. The Blue Jays are looking well right now. Great start, but still a long season to go. Brad, just quickly with the Blue Jays, seems like they have issues when it comes to the Yankees this year, and being on the road in New York is always a tough place to play. And you know, they got a pretty tough schedule coming up with the Yankees and the Red Sox around the corner for this to be a real big test for the Jays to try to keep up. And it's always big to have this hot start and keep it up, so you down the road, if you do get into a losing streak, you've already cemented a good lead into second or first in the division. The Jays are obviously goaling for a division win, but realistically I think a goal would be for the wild card, especially with the top-notch talent they have with the Yankees and Red Sox in that division. Are you proud of what the Jays have done so far?
Yeah, you know what I mean. If I'm a Jays fan, I'm happy with the way things have started. Like you said, this next little stretch here is going to be huge. I mean, we'll see how good this team is, against a Boston team who's come out of the gate blazing. They've been absolutely outstanding here early on, and I think we'll get an even better read on where the Jays are at, and that's a series that the Jays don't even necessarily need to, they're not in a position where they even need to necessarily win the series, but if they're competitive in every game, that still tells me that they're in a good spot. So, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting little stretch here. But, I think if you're a Jays fan, you have to be happy with the way things have started here this year.
Absolutely, and with Donaldson, it'll be good. Hopefully, he comes back with a dead arm and he can get back to form. And Tulowitzki, when he comes back from his bone spur or whatever the heck happened to him, just kidding. We know what happened to him. Just professionally speaking, that seems to be an injury that plagues them every year. That when they're full health, even with those guys in, they can be good. This team's still a good ball team, pitching and everything. And Sanchez has been lights out. The pitching's key with this team. They have a top 10 rotation, I think, in MLB. They have a good depth. I think they have one of the best depths in the league right now. When they have their full lineup, I like their home run power and the ability to play small ball. Pilar is fantastic on defense, as you know. So the Toronto Blue Jays definitely having a strong start. And sticking with baseball and sort of Blue Jays news, Joey Bats signs a minor league contract with someone who named Alex Anthopoulos is affiliated with the Atlanta Braves. Kind of funny how that happened. Alex Anthopoulos signed Jose Bautista back in the late 2000s, and where he slugged 50-plus home runs, been a home run champion twice for the Jays. He's been an all-star for the Jays, a fan favorite for the Jays for years, the infamous bat flip. Justin, I'm going to get just your quick little take on how you feel Joey Bats is getting the opportunity in Atlanta and how long until he gets into the major league lineup in Atlanta.
I mean, it's just nice to see the guy get a chance again. I don't think last year went as he anticipated in Toronto, nor did it go as any of us had anticipated. So it's nice to see. Maybe he gets, well, not maybe, he's obviously getting another chance to show what he's got, or if there's anything left. I feel like you'll probably see him conveniently placed in maybe the big clubs lineup when they match up against the Jays in I think late June, is it?
Late June.
So I don't know. It's nice to see. It's another interesting tidbit to follow. So I like to see an old guy like that get a chance.
Joey Bats in Toronto late June. Get your tickets now because he'll definitely be in the lineup. You got to mark that he's going to be in that lineup. The Braves are calling him up, or definitely he'll be in the lineup. But then he's going to be starting at third base, somewhere where he hasn't really played much since 2015. And he's a little bit older. Playing the outfield might be a little bit different. Maybe third base is good for him at the end of the day. But Joey Bats getting a chance at the MLB for a team that is actually, with the Atlanta Braves, a young team. They have a team that is done decent this year. The Atlanta Braves playing over in the NL and having a record this year so far of the total is 10-7 to start this year. And currently actually playing the Mets as we speak and beating them 6-1. So they're probably going to be 11-7. Decent record. There's a young team coming around. A team that was a team that won the division every year in the thousands. Definitely a team that the Atlanta Braves adding Bautista, this gives them that adding pop because Bautista is definitely a strong man. And good luck to Joey Bats, one of my favorite players. I have 5 of his jersey shirts. I will watch and monitor Jose Bautista with Atlanta as much as I don't want to admit it, as I feel like I just want to say I monitor all sports or all sports teams and everything, but my favorite players like to keep an eye on, and Joey Bats is still that guy in my category, being one of my favorite ball players, so I will definitely be keeping an eye on him in Atlanta, and everyone else should as well, because I feel he could be a diamond in the rough pick for Atlanta, getting him to a minor league contract. Brad, we're going to jump into the NOJHL talk quickly here before we go to our first break, and you're going to give me a little update in terms of the playoffs. I know Rayside and Cochrane are currently in Game 3, as we discussed. I think Cochrane is absolutely shellacking Rayside right now in Game 3. So it seems like the series is going to go to 2-1, with Game 4 being on this week as well, playing over in Cochrane as well. So quick little insight on that series and a quick little NOJHL update.
Yeah, so we're looking at Game 4 tomorrow night in Cochrane, and Rayside being up 2-1 now, like you said, after Cochrane loses the opening 2 games in Chelmsford.
Keep saying Sudbury. But.
In Chelmsford, let's face it, Sudbury. And then Cochrane bouncing back at home and winning 8-2 tonight. That's a final as we speak, and obviously a big night for them. They needed, you can't afford to go down 3-0, and you basically put yourself, if you don't have home ice advantage, you basically need to put yourself in a position, win your home games, and then try to steal one on the road. And Cochrane's still a little bit of a ways to go here. They need a win tomorrow night, but it's going to be interesting. I mean, now that Cochrane's got to win, I'm curious to see how Game 4 is going to play out tomorrow night.
Cochrane's definitely a team that has done well this playoffs and definitely can never count out a team. 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, doesn't matter. Series not over until the final buzzer. So that was Brad with a quick little NOJHL update. We'll have those updates as the playoffs and as the RBC and the Dudley Hewitts and all come up into the future and what team represents the NOJHL for that. So that's been a quick little introduction portion where we talked about the Blue Jays and we talked about the NOJHL. It's a quick little note about local baseball. Go to the SooBall.com. You can enroll your child to play in baseball, T-ball. I signed up for men's open ball once again this year for the second straight year. It's actual hard pitch, definitely very competitive. If you're interested and you are in the adult age, a good way to put it, that you're in the late teens or early 20s and higher up, and you want to play some hardball baseball, definitely a great league to be a part of. Sign up. It is $195. They still have room to sign up. The draft has not commenced as of yet. They took a different format, more teams, whatnot this year. So if you want to sign up for baseball, do that. Or even if you just don't want to play hardball, you can come on, maybe play some slow pitch, do something. A lot of local ball going around so far this year. So a lot of stuff going on. Get out and play. We're going to have local baseball updates as well as the year goes on as well. And in terms of the hockey, there's a lot of summer camps out there, a lot of summer development camps with the Driven Hockey Camp program. So there's a lot of things to keep an eye on here that we will bring to you as we know here on the Game Sports Show. Dave McKeag alongside Justin Heichel, Brad Kochmiller. We're going to take a quick break. We're hear from our sponsors. We're going to sip on our Molson products. When we come back from break, we're going to have the Hounds talk, which is going to be a very interesting discussion because that Game 7 absolute baseball score. And we're going to talk about the NHL playoffs briefly as well before we conclude our accelerated show here tonight. So don't go anywhere. We're going to hear from our sponsors. We'll be back here at Boston Pizza on The Game.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsoo.as.me-. The Salon, making the Soo beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop, for over 40 years, meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Thank you for tuning in to the Game Sports Show, broadcasting Thursday nights from Boston Pizza in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and online at thegamesportshow.podbean.com. I hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Now, if you want to hear more of the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national talk show involving the world of sports, I encourage you to visit our website, thegamesportshow.com. There you can hear a couple other broadcasts of the Game Sports Show. Monday nights, we do the game from the Wicked Sister on Ashman Street in downtown Sioux, Michigan, 6 to 7 o'clock on the radio. WUPN, Eagle 95.1 locally, or online at radioeaglesioux.com. Now, the full 2-hour show can be heard on the podcast page of the game at thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or you can go to our YouTube channel. Just look for Scott Nason in that one, as yours truly, along with Dave McKeag and our weekly contributors, Butch Davis from the Telegram News and Butch on Sports, along with EJ Russell on the Team Wireless Hot Seat. We focus on local, regional, and national sports, including high school basketball and hockey, junior hockey, Laker athletics, and the Detroit sports scene. And Mr. Electric Avenue Dave McKeag also broadcasts a show on Wednesday night from Sports Center Bar and Grill in Sioux, Ontario, along with his regular contributors Jamie Antonello, Justin Heichel, and Dane Hantro. They focus on football with their In the Pocket segment, talking about the NFL along with basketball and the NBA, and other sports including tennis, golf, soccer, and the WWE. Once again, you can hear all 3 versions of the game at our website, thegamesportshow.com, or our podcast page, thegamesportshow.podbean.com. You can also find us on YouTube. Just look for the Scott Nason channel. And thank you for listening, and keep it locked here to the game for all your local, regional, and national sports talk that you just can't get enough of.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sports Center Bar and Grill. Sports Center Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sports Center rated top sports bar for the 2nd year in a row. At Sports Center, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sports Center Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
Get wicked at the Wicked Sister. You'll find the best tasting food for the whole family. Start off with some appetizers like the crab dip, served with warm non-bread strips and soft pretzel bites, or their antibiotic and hormone-free boneless chicken wings with 5 choices of sauces. Entrees include the barbecue pulled pork sandwich, the #1 selling drunken cow burger, or Philly cheesesteaks, and they're on special all day Thursdays. The Wicked Sister also offers a gluten-free menu and catering. Bring the whole family. The Wicked Sister, downtown Ashman Street, open 7 days a week.
Hi, this is Paul Maurice from the Winnipeg Jets, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. Yours truly, David McKeag. You're live at Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, alongside Brad Kochmilio and Justin Heichel, the usual crew on Thursdays. Well, I guess we're missing one guy on our crew, Dane Hantro, who has been fighting fires out in Red Lake. Well, he hasn't really fought fires as of yet, but he's out there getting ready to fight fires. Or fight snowstorms, actually, out there. Probably the best thing to say. And I've been getting in touch with Dane a lot and keeping in touch with him and everything. And unfortunately, he's been chirping me very much about being a Leaf fan. And if I'm worried yet, I'm just going to flat out say, I don't care if the Leafs are down 3-1 in a series or 3-0. You always be Leaf. Remember that. But we're going to talk about the NHL shortly. In this part of the show, the second part of our accelerated show here tonight, we're going to talk about the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and we're going to talk about the NHL playoffs and the Leafs in general. And we're going to have Brad and Justin get involved in all those conversations. One thing I want to mention, though, fellas, before we jump into that, is the Humboldt Broncos. Hashtag Humboldt Strong. Over $40,000 plus raised with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds organization and donated, I believe is the correct number, and over $15 million in donations on the GoFundMe page. I cannot believe, and words cannot express the thanks from everyone in the hockey world that all came together and everyone in the community. And a special thanks to Ben Boudreau, someone who might remember that name on the Game Sports Show. Still a casual employee. He's on call here a lot, but he actually sold helmet stickers that he raised over $450, and he put it on the Humboldt GoFundMe page where he put the Sault Ste. Marie hockey community down. Much thanks to Ben Boudreau for doing that as well, and hashtag Humboldt Strong indeed. Again, it's Dave McKeag alongside Brad Kochmilio and Justin Heichel. Fellas, we're going to talk about the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and before we jump into our playoff discussion here, Brad, I'm going to most likely talk to you the most about this and get just Justin's feedback on the score, but I was at the game that game was on Tuesday. It was on Tuesday, and the Hounds won 9-7 against the Owen Sound Attack, and the leads that the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds had. And that third period was absolutely insane. We just saw a baseball game at the SR Center. or even a Denver Broncos, Houston Texans kind of football game is what we saw at the SR Center. The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, doing some good fantasy puck movement out there, getting some goals, getting down 1-0 early in the game, coming back, battling, chasing Owen Sound's goaltender, Owen Sound's goalie going back in there. Villalta letting in 7 goals, Hounds scoring 9. The last 5 minutes of that game was absolute insanity. The Hounds, I think, if I remember correctly, were up 9-5. Owen Sound got 2 quick ones there, made things absolutely interesting. Thank God the Hounds got that empty netter to make it 9, or else it would have been a 1-goal lead. That Owen Sound attack team is a very good hockey team. I don't care what anybody says, a very hard-working team, and the Hounds had their work cut out for them in that series. I think going against Kitchener tomorrow night, which puck drop tomorrow, and which some of you are going to hear tomorrow, actually. So here, as we sit here at Boston Pizza, the game's tomorrow, Friday at 7:07. Some of you that are going to hear the podcast, the game will actually be today, in quotations, Friday, 7:07, and they play at the SR Center. And the game is already sold out. There's only second standing room tickets, apparently, that were sold today that were actually sold out. So another sold-out game at the SR Center. The Hounds, 2 things, Brad. That game on Tuesday, first off, get your feedback on that. Secondly, what they should be ready for against the Kitchener Rangers.
Yeah, so Game 7, first off. That was... You know what? It's weird to say this, but I've never been more drained covering a game than I was after Game 7. And I remember we had a photographer at the game Tuesday night, too, and I was at the office when she was already there when I got back to our office. And I said the same thing to her. I said, I'm absolutely just exhausted right now after that game. It felt like it didn't stop for 2.5 hours. And that third period was absolutely nuts. But as weird as this is going to sound, there was no point in that third period, even when Owen Sound was battling back late, that I felt like the Greyhounds were going to lose that game.
No, for sure.
And I mean, part of it was because they were up so much. But I mean, when they went up 8, I think it was 8-3 at one point. I never had that feel that even Owen Sound battling back. I was like, no, they're not gonna. As much as Owen Sound's coming back, they're not going to blow this lead. I felt like that at the end of the first period. They're up 4-1 after 20 minutes. And honestly, there was a point there where I'm like, you know what, I think this game's over. Owen Sound made a game of it, and you know what, I'm not surprised they did. We knew that was going to be a very tough series. We talked about it on this show, how tough Owen Sound was going to be on them. And, for the Greyhounds, Drew Bannister has said it on more than one occasion that, that series and the way that series played out made the Soo Greyhounds a better hockey club today. Yeah. Kitchener Rangers, they're going to be a tough hockey club too. I mean, they were top seed in the Midwest Division, finished second in the Western Conference. It's a team that's been getting good goaltending out of a local kid, Mario Kalina. They added
100% natural representative, may I add?
They added some high-end guys during the course of the year. They added, guys like Logan Brown and Logan Stanley, Austin McEnany, who's going to miss Game 1 for them, but he's been a good veteran presence on the blue line who's got Memorial Cup experience. So, this is going to be a tough go. This is probably going to be another 6-game series for the Greyhounds. I don't know. There are points where I'm not sure they're going to be as tough on the Greyhounds as Owen Sound was, just based on the fact that Owen Sound was the best team in the league in the second half of the year. But I also expect this to be a long series, and I expect it to be, it's going to be a battle.
It is going to be a battle, I think, for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. However, one thing that I'll say with the Hounds is that series with Owen Sound, like you said, echoing exactly what you said, is going to prepare them. That Saginaw Spirit series did not prepare the Hounds. And that rest, they went into that series against Owen Sound maybe a little bit overconfident, I'll say, in terms, but they had a quick awakening with losing to Owen Sound in the first game. And the Hounds, having going to Game 7 against the Owen Sound attack and having that last game, which was an absolute shootout, it just wakes you up and gets you prepared. And they're a quick turnaround. They're playing 3 days after the game on Tuesday. They're going to be prepared. In the playoffs, there's no such thing as being tired. You're going to have bumps and bruises, and when you're in the playoffs, you're not going to be soft. I'm going to use that term. You're not going to be soft. You're prepared. These guys are getting ready for the professional leagues or want to play at that level. This is how you make it. You prove yourself in this point. And those guys, Gettinger, Radish, Kachuk, Hayden. I love Hayden is one of my favorite guys on the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds because of just his heart in general. And, obviously being a Connor Timmins fans and Hodeshell. I probably butchered that last name. I apologize. Hodeshell. Okay, got it right. Villalta I felt bad for. Letting 7 goals. A lot of times the Hounds kind of let their foot off the gas at the end of the day. But the Hounds winning that series is big. Going against Kitchener, I think they're going to be prepared, and I think they're going to have a better presence on the ice, and I think they're going to get started on the right foot in the series. I think the Hounds are more prepared against Kitchener after having that tough matchup against Owen Sound. Justin, I'll get your quick points on, first off, that score is absolutely ludicrous, as you heard me discuss with you and heard me discuss with you off air here, how wild it was. Simply, just what? Makes you look at the scores, you think twice, what happened? What did I miss? There was friends that left that game that I was with in the last 5 minutes because the Hounds were up by a big score. Then they texted me, why did I leave? You missed a lot. You blink an eye in that game, you're missing some big action. So your thoughts on that game with that score, and are the Hounds ready for Kitchener?
I mean, with just the score of that game, after the first period, I was touching in and out of that game on TV. And I forget the kid's name, but Fitzpatrick interviewed him on Shaw. And just the way the kid was talking, he's coming back to Owen Sound next year. And the way he was talking, I just got the vibe from them that locker room wasn't done. They believed in each other that they could come back and still beat this Greyhounds team. And I had that same kind of gut check feeling that I had and going into overtime and the 2013 playoffs there. Or I was worried for a little bit, but I think that's one of those games where we all of us said last week where the Hounds had to come into this and leave it all on the line, and that's what happened in that game. Like every player on those two teams probably slept for 2 days after that game, and for the Hounds it's a quick turnaround back into Friday and Saturday night this week back to back, and then Monday, Wednesday in Kitchener. So. It's going to be a good series, and scheduling like this kind of prepares these, overagers and last year guys. That prepares them to make the step to the next level. Like it's not a hunky dory 3 games a week kind of schedule. You're going to have to play through some ups and downs and some injuries, and if you want to win this, you're going to have to man up and play through these games. And I'm looking forward to the series on the weekend. And it should be crazy Friday and Saturday night in the Soo. And then it should be crazy everywhere that the game is being shown in town here Monday, Wednesday next week.
And you and I were discussing the schedule being tight, but that's obviously to do with dates, Memorial Cup. You have to meet dates when it comes to that, and events, tickets being sold, and everything around that's such. So the series seems like Friday, Saturday, back-to-back seems tough. But don't forget, this is junior hockey. It's like that. It's very common at back-to-back nights. I know in the NHL they have one night on, one night off. That's kind of the way it does go there, but schedules are a little bit different in the OHL and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds going against Kitchener tomorrow night, 7:07. And some of you that are going to hear the show, the game might actually be tonight. So Friday, Saturday at the SR Center, 7:07, puck drop. Tough to get your tickets. Keep your eye out online. You might be able to squeeze in or get on in there, see what you can do, or definitely watch on Shaw TV as well, because honestly, this series is going to be just as good, if not better, than the Owen Sound series. Expecting good things from the Hounds. Third round, one more round to go after this if they can get by it. You know what the goal is for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and I'm not going to say what the big goal is because I don't want to jinx anything. Good luck to Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. We're going to be cheering on for you. And the Game Sports Show, we're hoping that is going to be a part of media coverage for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. We actually got to give a shout out to Scott Nason with this, can hopefully get some news on that we are going to have media passes at the game to get some in-depth and some good stuff in there for you. Maybe we'll be standing alongside Brad Kochmilio in the after the games and we get some good fun comments. Brad will be in touch with that, as Brad is a part of Soo today. He does not only do the Game Sports Show, Brad does everything, like to say. But with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, tough series coming up. Good luck to Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. They are going to be good. And we're going to, next Thursday when we're sitting here, they're going to be pretty much into that series fully. So there'll be lots to talk about. And the Game Sports Show will have your Soo Greyhounds coverage all covered up. Fellas, last topic we're going to jump into, and that is the NHL playoffs. Quick show tonight for sure here on the Game Sports Show. Interesting. Schedule conflicts, of course, and yours truly, of course, having a finals men's league game at 10:30 at the John Rose Community Center against Preston Mitzi's Chicken Hawks. If you are hearing this on location, you're hearing this in general now, come out to the roads at 10:30 to watch Dave McKegg maybe put on his skates like he was 18 years old again and maybe sniper miss the net. The good old men's league hockey coming to an end in Sault Ste. Marie, and that's what this show talks about. We have some good times on here, and we have some not so good times. And what do I mean by not so good times? Well, it's when me and Justin got to watch our Toronto Maple Leafs lose a game, which just occurred, and we're going to jump into that right away. Justin, I want to jump into this right away, actually, because it's fresh. The Leafs have just lost 3-1. The Washington Capitals are up 3-1 on the Columbus Blue Jackets with 4 minutes left to go. It's maybe fair to say that the Washington Capitals are going to make that series tied 2-2 in Game 4. You know, the Toronto Maple Leafs are hoping to tie up the series going back to Boston. I don't know if everyone remembers this. 2013, we're not going to talk about what happened in Game 7, but in 2013, we were down 3-1. Went back to Boston, won that game, went back to Toronto, won that game, and then we went back for Game 7, and we all know what happened in that game. We don't have to jump into that. So I'm not saying things are going to happen. At the end of the day, the series is still not over, but the Leafs outshot Boston, worked hard, I think deserved a better fate tonight. That is definitely a tough loss. No excuses. But Boston is capitalizing. Even without Patrice Bergeron on the lineup currently tonight, we don't know if he's playing next game. Nazem Kadri comes back in for the Leafs. Would be a nice big addition to be on the shutdown line there for the Leafs. Overall, the Leafs going back to Boston, down 3-1. What do the Leafs have to do different? Because in Boston, they struggled those first 2 games.
To me, the Bruins are in their head. That's what I'm seeing right now. The kids on the Toronto Maple Leafs are playing the big bad Boston Bruins, and that's what it looks like. Like the second line in the last 2 games seems to be the line that's doing all the work. I mean, Marner's playing his ass off out there. Plekanec, I thought, has played a really good role working that line, especially Monday night. Like, I mean, no Bergeron tonight, so Boston's lines were obviously a little different. But Monday night, I thought Plekanec played a great role. I thought Marleau, looked really good. But again, Matthews hasn't been there, and I don't know what the deal is with that. The Leafs also haven't really been capitalizing on the power play. We seem to have, a week ago, we needed to not, spend so much time on the penalty kill. Because a week ago, last Thursday, we had 17 minutes just in Kadri penalties. We seem to have been playing a little more of a disciplined game. But I gotta stop saying
You're thinking you're in.
No, I'm thinking too hard, Ricky. But we have to stop and I don't know, maybe shoot the puck a little more and take more chances.
Smart chances.
Well, not even that. Like that Chara shot from the corner on Monday night. I was in the midst of ranting. It's sitting in my living room just ranting to whoever was going to listen to me, which is probably just the cats, about how you just have to take the shot sometimes. And then that ogre puts one in over Anderson's shoulder. Like, come on. There's no way that any even talented scorer could duplicate that shot on what angle that came in, let alone a guy that's using a telephone pole as a stick.
He had a great game last game, Anderson. Right? Last game he was phenomenal. But has he been himself this series? Like, is it fair to say he hasn't? A lot of players haven't. You know who's been the worst player on Toronto? Nikita Zaitsev. The guy has been, and I'm saying it, I'm going to say this word professionally speaking. This is the only professional way I could put it. The guy's been an absolute bum. Like, I don't even know if I'd pick him up for my men's league team. I'm not even kidding. I think I'd rather have Justin Heichel on defense. I don't know how much you've skated before, Justin, but the guy has been struggling, and he's been non-existent. And that contract scares me because he's having a big... He's not just having a sophomore slump. He's having the sophomore slump. The guy has been a bum. He's 26 years old. He's played professional hockey in the K. He should not have these slumps. He's been playing pro hockey. He's been struggling. Gardner's actually doing decent. I'll give him a little bit of credit. Riley's been trying. Riley's trying to do too much out there. I feel like Dermott's been their best defenseman. I think, in my opinion, Travis Dermott, a guy who came up from the Toronto Marlies, their best forward, in my opinion, has been Patrick Marleau. And I like what Mitch Marner's doing, and I got to give credit to Zach Hyman. He's been the hardest worker, and Kasperi Kapanen. Those are the 4 guys that stick out to me right now, are those guys up front. And the Leafs right now are in a position of elimination Saturday night, which is not impossible to erase. Don't forget, the Leafs won 3 out of 4 games against Boston this year, and they beat them at home both times that they played them at Boston, and they beat them once big time. This series is not done. Playoff hockey is a different cookie, though. It's a complete different cookie. And we're cramming our Leafs talk and our playoff talk here all in once with this talk before we move on to other series just quickly before we wrap up the show. So just to say quickly to wrap all this up, the Leafs are in danger. Panic button is being hit in Toronto. And maybe it shouldn't be because the series is still not over. But I know you got some points about certain guys that maybe have not played. Justin, I don't know if you agree with me with Zaitsev. Brad, I don't know if you agree with certain players that have been really struggling. I feel like the Leafs had more energy in the last playoffs against the Washington Capitals.
Okay, this is just because I know we're kind of crunched for time here. Anyone that's played any sort of sporting game against me over the course of time and history knows that any decision I make is absolutely ludicrous. At any point in time, I'm making some sort of wild card decision. This is what I do, just based on what I've seen so far in this playoff series and my vast knowledge of coaching from the couch. Play McElhinney the first 5 minutes of the game so Anderson can't let in that heart sinker of a goal that's happened every game so far this series. Because it happened tonight. I mean, if Plekanec scores that goal and we can build off that, it's a different game. Yeah. But we're talking hindsight here. So don't let Anderson play 55 minutes. Because for whatever reason, everyone forgot when he made that paddle save on Monday night that, okay, well, he's got burned on the Vezina trophy. No, he didn't. He had a pretty good year.
High goals against average, man.
But some of his stats are a testament to something bigger, that our defense is a nightmare. And for me to be saying that out loud right now and Dave not licking his chops and starting a parade of his own to run around here and telling me that he's right, but man, we've been garbage when it's come to crunch time. And why not give Levo a chance on Matthews' line? Or give Levo a chance somewhere? Or give Levo $20 to buy Kapanen a goal? I don't know. Those are the things that are driving me insane right now.
It is so insane. It is ludicrous. And the Leafs decor is not good enough against this Boston team. And I'm going to get to some comments about Don Cherry last on our point here. I just want to wrap up the NHL playoff kind of portion. But before I even do that, Brad, just some comments on Leafs Bruins series. And I think to add to what we said in terms of the Leafs.
I think, you know what, I think we're in a position where we knew this was going to be a tough series for the Leafs. I mean, at the end of the day, you knew Boston was going to be a tough out, but
could be.
I mean, this is a Boston team that's had some playoff success, and I think that's showing through in this series. I mean, I think that's what it's boiling down to, and this Leaf team, chalk this up to experience, and you know what, put it in your pocket and use this down the road, because this is a Leaf team that's going to be a regular playoff team going forward, and chalk this experience up.
Yeah, for sure, good points. And just to go and take a breather with the Leafs Bruins series, there's more we'll get to, and I know next week when we're here, maybe we'll be on a happy note that the Leafs have came back, or maybe we'll be on a sad note that they didn't come back, and we'll be talking off-season Leaf stuff, but we'll see what next week brings, and most importantly, what Saturday brings for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going to get to what John Cherry said in just a few seconds here. Just to do the other series just quick, Washington currently up 4-1 with 2 minutes left in the third. Washington's certainly going to tie up that series going back to the capital of the United States in Washington. Yeah, everyone's looking at me. I almost had to get my geography out there to confirm that. Just kidding. Nashville Predators getting the win last night, go up 3-1 on Colorado. The San Jose Sharks sweeping the Ducks. Tampa Bay Lightning have a 3-1 lead on New Jersey after winning 3-1. That series is almost identical to Toronto Boston's.
Did you see those T-shirts that they had in San Jose last night?
No, I didn't see them.
Oh my! I killed to get a hold of one of them. They're Duck Hunt T-shirts.
Duck Hunt rally time.
Dunk Hunt. Okay, if we got the savage, that's savage. If anyone can get one of those towels, not towers, sorry. Anyone get one of those towels, please send us a picture on the Game Sports Show. I kind of want that for my background, or send me one. Don't be shy. Boston Beach, Sault Ste. Marie will definitely take that order. But in Pittsburgh, up 3-1 on Philadelphia. That was earlier. With going 3-1, going back home to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Tomorrow night, Pittsburgh and Winnipeg can wrap up the series. Paul Maurice, Game Sports Show's friend zone, Paul Maurice, can wrap up that series. And Nashville being able to potentially wrap up the series before Tampa, New Jersey, Columbus, Washington, Toronto, Boston playing on Saturday. So San Jose moving on, and the series I kind of want to say quickly here. I know we're not going to have a crunch for time. Las Vegas Golden Knights and it's the Los Angeles Kings. Justin said this off the air. The best series so far in the National Hockey League's playoffs in terms of speed. Not excitement, speed. And there's a difference. I think it's been exciting, but I think there's been other exciting series that have gone on in this playoffs so far. And I'm saying Toronto's up there for that as well. But Vegas winning 4-0 on LA was something I did not expect. Vegas looking fantastic out there. The Flower in top performance. Vegas moving on, and San Jose moving on to the second round. And potentially tomorrow night we might have Pittsburgh and Winnipeg and Nashville moving on to the second round as well, as we get to the meat, potatoes, and the dessert portion of the first round of the playoffs. And fellas, we're not going to dissect every game because we only have a couple minutes left here on our accelerated show. I want to get to one point because we do not have our multiple choice segment. The only question I want to get to is what Don Cherry stated on Hockey Night in Canada tonight. Hockey Night in Canada, yes, because it's Hockey Night in Canada for the Leafs and basically the playoffs, but Coach's Corner. I stand corrected. With Coach's Corner, he stated how the playoff format sucks. Now, he's not using this as an excuse for the Leafs, because Washington Capitals have had to play the Pittsburgh Penguins in the second round for the last how many years and have lost. So I want everyone to know out there that this is not an excuse. But for Toronto-Boston to be second and third seeded in the Eastern Conference in general, not just in this division, but to have to play each other in the first round is ridiculous. I think you can have the same format, but then when the playoffs come, you put the teams in a 1-8 position. That's how you play them. That's how I do think that the league should be in a different format, because some divisions one year are tougher than the other. The Atlantic Division has the two best teams in the Eastern Conference in it right now, and it's not Pittsburgh because they're in the Metropolitan. Tampa and Boston, I think, are better potentially than Pittsburgh is. Maybe not in the playoffs, we'll see, because probably one of them, or maybe if Toronto goes through Boston, whatever, these guys are going to be playing probably Pittsburgh in the third round, because I'm saying if Washington plays Pittsburgh, they're probably going to lose in the second round once again. Okay, so at the end of the day, quick going around the table, this playoff format has to change, I think, in terms of the seeding order. Bring in the same format, have the same divisions in the wild card, do all that, but then seed it in terms of points. Okay, that's how you do it, because, or if you want to go back to what it was the old days, the East or Western Conference, I'm fine with that too. But bring in that old format, because it's ridiculous how the top two teams or two of the top three teams had to play each other in the first round. I am saying Toronto-Boston, and either way, it doesn't matter if Toronto won or Boston won. One good team's going home. That probably shouldn't be going home. Because if Toronto was playing Philly, if Toronto was playing New Jersey, if Toronto was playing Columbus, I think they'd beat them. Just like if Boston was playing any of those teams, they would beat them. Tampa would have to play New Jersey or a lower seed team and would probably beat them. So these are the types of matchups you want to see in the second round. You want to see the best teams go forward as best as possible. I know the NHL wants to create rivalries, but I think you got to look at it from a different perspective now, because a lot of people are not liking this format, especially Washington and maybe Toronto fans now. Brad, I'll go to you first before I go to Justin before we wrap up the show here tonight. Get your comments on the format, keep it the same or change it.
You know what? I'm really fine with the way it is. I mean, in all honesty, I mean, let's look at it. If the Leafs don't have a good regular season and are a wild card team and are playing anyone else but Boston, how much of a debate are we having? Like, I look back at last year's, I believe it was last year in the OHL, where you had 400-point teams and 5 legit title contenders in the OHL's Western Conference. Everyone at that point was saying the league playoff format needs to be changed to a 1-16 because you were losing, 3 of the league's best teams in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Well, you know what? It is what it is. I mean, I'm okay with it. If you're disappointed with the fact that you're losing out in an early round playoff series, make your team better so it doesn't happen. Be good, because that's and for me, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to beat those teams anyway. Yeah. If you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, you're more than likely gonna have to beat the Boston Bruins to advance at some point anyway.
And Tampa.
Does it really matter whether it's in the first round or the conference final?
It's like no different than the Hounds.
No different.
No different than the Hounds and Owen Sound.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it, the Owen Sound Attack were the best team in the Ontario Hockey League in the second half of the year, and they're out of the OHL playoffs in round 2.
Good point. Strong words from the one and only Brad. And I couldn't agree more. And I like having difference of opinion. I'm just obviously maybe a little sour, but I kind of think Different. You think different. Justin, you're not here to balance the scales of justice or nothing, but you got to get, I think you're on the fence with it too, because is Don Cherry right, or is Don Cherry, maybe he's not wrong, you have a right to an opinion, but playoff format now, do you change it, or does it change because you want to see these guys play, or you, like Brad said, they got to play them anyways?
I mean, I like chaos, so I'm going to throw this totally up in the air. But first, I want to get that on a t-shirt, like quote-unquote Brad Kochmelio. Don't want to lose, win.
I like that.
Like, that's perfect. That's words to live by right there.
Yep.
But me personally, just for the sake of throwing this out there and being a wild card, I want to see them break it down, East and West, 1 through 16. And then just let it roll.
So, like we discussed a couple weeks ago.
Like almost
travel costs, though.
But who cares? Yeah. It's the NHL. Really, are you going to tell me about travel costs? You didn't do the Olympics this year. You got that insurance money banked. So let's not complain about travel cost. But can you imagine how nuts that would be? Some of those games, some of that stuff would be ridiculous. Like, you imagine a young Leafs team matching up against Vegas. Just to think of those new rivalries you'd create and matchups that you wouldn't see in a million years. These teams wouldn't play each other that many games over the course of 2 seasons. I think that's interesting. Will it ever happen? Probably not, but it's interesting.
You had to throw the chaos, eh? That's the one thing I brought up to the table. And he's actually the one that shot it down, saying the travel costs. I like how you changed. He didn't want to go there. I like that. Definitely no excuses here from the Leaf fans. Boston has been playing more smart than Toronto, and capitalizing on their opportunities. Some strugglers points from Toronto and Boston. They got a big road ahead. Columbus getting tied now with Washington officially. Philly's got a long road. Minnesota is, I think, struggling against Winnipeg. Winnipeg showing pure dominance in that series. Same with Nashville, Colorado. These playoff rounds have not been disappointing. There's been exciting ones, and there's been one of the sad ones, like Justin said, to see that have done is Vegas and LA. Definitely a great series that concluded there. But by the time we're here next week, fellas, at Boston Pizza for our regular duration of the show, not just an accelerated show, we'll have definitely a second round preview, most likely. It definitely seems that way. We'll have a second round preview for sure by then, I'm guessing so. Anyways, and at least would play Saturday, Monday, then Wednesday would be the schedule if they went to Game 7. So we definitely should see a second round matchup by the time we're back here next week. So certainly interesting to see what happens here. Last question for us, before we conclude the show, a little bonus question. If one team is to come back in the series, don't give me an explanation, out of the teams that are down 3-1. So that's Toronto that's down, Minnesota that's down, Philly that's down, Colorado that's down, and New Jersey that's down. Which team has the best chance to come back?
Wow, that's tough.
Threw Brad right on the table first.
You know what? I'm gonna jump on the Colorado bandwagon. I know Mitch Wilson will be happy with that. I'm gonna jump on the Colorado bandwagon for this one.
Okay. I'm gonna be obvious. I'm going Toronto. Toronto. Justin.
I don't want to be biased, and I really want to say Colorado, but their goaltending is so crappy it's not even funny. So I'm going to get on the putty from Seidenfeld train and New Jersey Devils. Support the team.
I think that's just because you feel bad for New Jersey. Just kidding. New Jersey has a good chance as well. Very exciting team as well. Fellas, that's the show this week. That's quick. We've enjoyed some quickest show in the history of the game, guaranteed. As yours truly has 15 minutes until he's on the ice at the John Rhodes Community Center doing his championship round for Men's League. And then also we got some other scheduling stuff coming up on the radio and whatnot. So we're wrapping up the show quickly here tonight. But we're going to be here again next week, and that's Thursday, Boston Pizza at 9:30. And don't forget, we're going to be at Sports Center Bar and Grill as well, 9:30 to 11. That is Jamie Antonello and myself. And obviously next week got me, Brad, and Justin as well, with hopefully some special guests. And also Monday, myself and Scott Nason being live at the Wicked Sister alongside Butch Davis and possibly EJ Russell at 6 p.m. And I'm going to give a shout-out to a list of additional sponsors. You got North Shore Sports and Auto, The Salon, Sports Center Bar and Grill, Boston Pizza, obviously. Got Discover the Canvas, Northern Critters in Need, Big Brother, Big Sister, and Northern Signs. And then with the Wicked Sister, of course, and Pingator Cleaners. I want to give a shout out to Mitch Wilson, the bringer of beer. Fantastic. Aaron Grisdak, Boston Pizza in general, thank you very much. And Scott Nason, our board operator as always. Brad Cochimilio, thanks for coming on by, my friend. Until next week. And I'll probably be seeing you at the Hound games this weekend, maybe with the media coverage as well. I'm back here next week on Thursday.
Yeah, let's do it. We're having fun. We may as well do it again, right?
Oh, may as well. I guess it's part of the contract too. Justin, quick show. You were late, but you came in for everything on time, essentially. Thanks for coming by. And next week, maybe we'll have a good happy talk about the Leafs. Maybe not. We'll see what happens.
We're gonna have a talk regardless, but I made it for all the good parts, which were my parts.
Oh, I like that. And for everyone out there, the trivia question will not be until next week. We'll have a question, and just follow the show. Go to thegamesportshow.podbean.com or www.thegamesportshow.com. Keep an eye on our merchandise and keep an eye on everything for the Game Sports Show on the Instagram page as well, as that's going to be pretty much proactive now. We're going to get more posts on there at the Game Sports Show SSM. And if you want to get a hold of us, just follow one of myself, Justin Heiko, Brad Cochimilio, or Scott Nason on Twitter or Facebook. Get a hold of us to chat on there, and you're more than welcome to email the Sports Show as well, the Game Sports Show SSM @gmail.com. To conclude the show, the usual concluder. Keep your stick on the ice. Swing your bat. Catch your touchdown, drain your threes, and shoot your shots. Booyah. To all out there, till next time, have a good one.